Welcome to the Blood Angels Commander channel.
Hey guys, good evening. Welcome to Blood Angels Commander. Painting Death Company. Surprise, surprise. Been painting Death Company for a while now, right? How's everybody today? Thanks for checking out. Morgo's in the house. Good evening. Thanks again for the gifted subs last night, Morgo. Do appreciate them. Rezio is in the house. Robert White's in the house. Daniel got a notification from YouTube. Yeah, I don't control those YouTube notifications, unfortunately, Daniel. They really are as random as... I don't know. They're as random as something that's very random. Don't have a better way of putting that. How's everybody? Rezio's editing a video himself. Good way of spending an evening. I will know. I have a cool video coming out tomorrow, actually. Good evening, Kevin. Crooks, good evening as well. I got a video tomorrow coming out to ask if the Red Thirst is actually a good chapter tactic. I think it'll turn some heads. I think we'll get some heated comments. The most heated discussion ever was on last week's video, I think. There was like a 15 replies in a row on one comment. It was the most heated I've ever seen the discussion on on one of my videos. So, controversial topics here first on the Blood Angels Commander. Hello Ben. Just about to feed the baby. Oh, good fun. How old's your baby, Ben? My youngest is 11 months old. And when last night he actually ended up with like more food in his hair than he had in his mouth. So, I was gonna say we did bath night tonight, so maybe all day yesterday, or all day today. I don't know. I was at work. All day today, his hair probably smelled of whatever he ate for dinner last night. I think it was like cheesy pasta. The joys of a 11-month-old baby, I guess. 4 months. Oh, you're in the fun time. You've just come out the side. They say the first 3 months is the hardest, Ben. So stay with it, buddy. Gets easier. Robert White says there's rumour about the battle forces confirmed to be 100% accurate. I don't know any rumours about the battle forces. I just saw the battle forces that they released, and the only Marine one was the Imperial Fist one, right? What is the rumour about future battle forces? I mean, there's been rumours about a new Blood Angels box / 10th edition circulating for a while, but as far as I'm aware, it's just rumours, and it's come up and it's gone down, and it sounds like maybe it's coming up again. Who knows? Wouldn't you consider Astaroth using for more than just the +2 to charge litany? I don't overly love Astaroth. I played him a couple of times recently on stream, and he's the same number of points as Mephiston, and I just am more a Mephiston kind of guy. Astaroth can do more damage, but I don't like his survivability versus Mephiston. I think the +1 toughness and the 5-up feel no pain and the extra wounds, they just sort of gel more with my style. But don't get me wrong, I mean, I think Astaroth is fine. We see him played in a lot of events. But I guess it's just a style. It's a style pick, I guess. Oh, Raven Guard, yes, Raven Guard got a box. But I mean, nothing new in the Raven Guard box, right? Just the commander that's been out for a little while. I mean, I guess you could argue that there's nothing new in a lot of the boxes. Like the Thousand Suns had nothing really new in their box either, I suppose. So, if we're gonna get new Primaris for Blood Angels, we really need jump packs, right? And when I say jump packs, I don't mean Inceptors, because I guess Inceptors technically are kind of like jump pack Primaris Marines, but I'm talking more like grounded close combat models like Assault or Death Company or Sangard. The problem is everybody's not sure if they should buy Sangari Guard, because are Primaris Sangari Guard a thing that's going to happen? I don't really know. I suppose nobody really knows. But I mean, if Blood Angels do get a refresh, like the Black Templars got a refresh, then that will be pretty cool. But like, I have no information on that, and the rumors are coming and going. Sort of every 3 months, that rumor seems to come back. So I don't know if it's just a hopeful Blood Angels player spreading the rumor, or if there's actually any tangible credit to that rumor. I was thinking over the Christmas holidays I might get another box of Death Company. I don't have the ability to run 10 Thunderhammers really at the moment. I think I just have 4 models with Thunderhammers actually, because I've been running that 4-man. When I used to run Death Company a lot in previous editions, I never really used to run them with Thunderhammers, because in previous editions your characters were kind of like... It was almost better for the characters to have the Thunderhammers, right? Because the characters could like buff up to an insane amount of attacks, and then you could fight twice, and they had better ballistic skill, and they could reroll their own ones, and they could charge with more reliability, and they couldn't be overwatched, and you name the tricks. Blood Angels had all the tricks in 8th edition. So, yeah, I never built that many Death Company with hammers. So that's something that I've just... I mean, I've been doing it for a little while now, but I feel like I probably need one more box of Death Company with hammers. If I want to be competitive, I guess, because at the moment the competitive meta for Blood Angels is just covered in... It's like Sanguinary Guard and Death Company and, like, hell with everything else, almost. Lots of comments. Kevin says I converted Primaris Sanguinary Guard for Stormcast. Yeah, I mean, a bunch of people have done the Primaris Sanguinary Guard from Stormcast, and they can look pretty cool. I've actually got a box of Stormcast that I intended to do something with, but I guess I don't have enough Sanguinary Guard wings to do anything meaningful with them, but I do have a bunch of Stormcast, be that what it may. Brendan says he loves GW hinting at new Blood Angels update on the Instagram post. I did see that, but I mean, like, there's no time scale. The hint is very, very... Here's a thing that happened, actually. Brendan, I went to Warhammer Fest, which is like their big convention in... I want to say it was in Birmingham the year I went. But normally, I think maybe this year it's in Coventry. I'm not entirely sure. It was in Birmingham, and I went to Warhammer Fest in 20... Let me get this right. I think it was the year before COVID. So would that have been 2019? So I went to Warhammer Fest, and it was in like May. So I went to Warhammer Fest 3.5 years ago, and they had a panel with the guys that, well, it was like a Warhammer 40k panel, and I went up and I asked a question actually at that panel, and I asked them, are we going to see a Primaris Dante release, because we've just seen Primaris Marneus Calgar, and I would really like to see Primaris Dante, because I'm no vocal... I haven't hid the fact that I felt like Dante's rules have been poor for a while, right? Like, if you know me, you know that I have not hid that fact. So I asked that question at Warhammer Fest 3.5 years ago, and one of the designers, I think he's one of the guys you see on the live stream, not the Adam guy, the other guy that's got the glasses. I'm pretty sure it was him that was on the panel. I think Adam is the guy... Adam is the bald guy, and he's always on the Warhammer GW screens with like a guy with glasses, short black hair. I think you probably know the guy that I'm talking about. And I think he was on the panel, and I said to him, are we going to see Primaris Dante? And like, they gave the same sort of like, yeah, maybe that'd be an idea, you know? Like, and that was 3.5 years ago. So, I mean, them saying something on Instagram, like, I feel like it's just the same as that. Like, yeah, maybe it's closer, but also maybe it's an indefinite amount of time away and we just don't know anything, right? You could only take 2 hammers in the Death Company last edition, if I'm not mistaken. I actually don't know. Like I said, I never really played Death Company with hammers last edition. I used to always just run them with Well, last edition you could also run them with bolters and chainswords. It was none of this bolt pistol nonsense. So you'll notice that like a lot of my Death Company, not these ones, the ones that were painted previously, are actually armed with bolters and chain swords, no bolt pistols. And I'm not going to cut. Some of my friends actually would go ahead and like cut all the bolters off and like reconvert them to bolt pistols. I was like, no, fuck that. Mine are always going to now be armed with bolters, and if I take them to a tournament or event, I'm just going to say to my opponent, like, hey, these are bolt pistols because GW changed the codex and I'm not allowed to have bolters on them. But I mean, bolters and chain swords were valid last edition, right? And you were better arming them with bolters, and because it just gave you a little bit of it just gave you a little bit of like incidental shooting, similar to the Sangre Guard bolters in a way, I guess. So yeah, that's where my Death Company were. Hadley is just having to go start work. I'm sorry, Hadley. This is the time I stream. Every second week on a Thursday, I'm usually live around this time. Jim says, I don't think you should cross the rhubarb. Just make an awesome update with better rules. I mean, maybe. I mean, the problem with him not crossing the Rubicon, Jim, is that if you have been reading the recent books, then Dante is essentially dying in those recent books. So probably the only way he lives is if he does the Rubicon. But when they first announced the Rubicon, it was apparently very unreliable and people were dying. Now it seems like it's almost at 100% success rate. Like, no one has died by crossing the Rubicon in a while. So unless there's some sort of special story around Dante dying and a new chapter master coming in, which could be cool as well. And Brandon says, hello John, I enjoy your videos. Wolflord here, but the videos help me out. Yeah, you're more than welcome. Thank you for stopping by and saying hello. We don't discriminate against other chapters on here, but we do primarily do Blood Angel stuff. But I suppose if you play Marines, I actually wanted to do a video on how to beat Votann as well, because I have a 100% win rate against Votann at the moment. I mean, I've played them once, so I mean, 100% win rate out of one game is pretty good, right? But yeah, I sometimes do non-Blood Angels content. MB92 says, seen the World Eaters leaks. I saw the points costs today for Angron and Karn the Betrayer. I haven't seen any like data sheets. I just saw points costs. But I did see some people talking about it. I had a busy day at work, and then because I was streaming last night, like we were playing on the channel last night, I hadn't had a chance to watch Andor, and Andor is my new favourite Star Wars thing, by the way, guys. If you haven't watched Andor, you should watch it. It's better than any of the other Star Wars stuff that they've put out in forever, I feel like. So I was desperate to get home and watch Andor tonight. So apart from the points cost and the leaks, I haven't seen anything. What do I need to know? What's the rundown on the World Eater leaks? Camille says, how's the Death Company painting going? Slow. But when is my painting ever not going slow, Camille? I'm doing a batch paint of 11 Death Company, and I think there's a real possibility that I buy 5 more for over the holiday, because I got a bit of time off work coming up next month, obviously for Christmas. So I'm thinking I might just make it a batch paint of 16. I mean, that'll push the project into next year, but you can never have too many Death Company, right? Like, that's not a thing. Like, no one... You have too many Death Company models, said no one ever. Kevin says Space Marine heroes are a blast to convert to Death Company, done about 5 of them. I bought some of those Space Marine heroes on eBay the last round, you know, when they were blue. And I also bought a bunch of the Space Marine hero Terminators and did some conversions with them. They are, I mean, the unique models like that, and also the push fit actually make them very quick to convert and stuff, so yeah. I didn't get any of the heroes this time round, just because I got too many tactical marines sitting around the place that probably need finished before I could justify it, but I don't know if anyone noticed as well, I do have new glasses! I can see! I can actually, this is the first time I've painted with my new glasses, and I can tell you I am not squinting nearly as much. Yeah, being able to see helps a lot when you're painting, honestly. So I'm getting a bit of the odd headache from the new glasses, but it's because one of my eyes is different from the other. So when I first put the new glasses on, the whole world was at like a 45-degree angle, and I covered one eye and I could see fine. I covered the other eye and I could see fine. But when I have both eyes open, it was like I was on a, you know, like when you're on like a boat or something and the boat swaying side to side. So I was like walking down the street, like wait, it must have looked like I was completely drunk, but no, I was just like my eyes trying to get used to the new glasses. So I'm getting the odd headache, but yeah, I haven't really realizing it now till I'm actually painting, but I can see so much better. I also I can actually read the text on my phone as well, which is really nice, because like, you know, when you have a phone and there's text on the screen, it's nice to be able to read it, I guess. So very happy about new glasses as well. Nathan said Andor is brilliant. I'm glad someone else has been enjoying it. I've really been enjoying it. Will says Andor is the best Disney Plus has put out. Yes, I couldn't agree more. A lot of people are crying about the fake leaks, although not sure this was just sad, disappointed. I mean, there's so many leaks in Warhammer at the moment over the last codexes and the points costs and the Votan. It seems like everything leaks now. I don't know where they're getting this stuff together, but it seems like it's unbelievably leaky, isn't it? Everything's getting released now. Everything is leaking. They need to set like they need to have a spy in there and figure out who's leaking everything. But yeah, I mean, I don't know when that was there a date for the World Eaters Codex? Probably more than 30 regular Death Company is too many unless you refuse to magnetize. That's probably correct, Rezio, but because I already have so many done with like bolters and chain swords, like I said, I'm not magnetizing the new ones. Maybe this is a stupid idea to not be doing the magnets, but I usually say like, don't build models without magnetizing them because it will always come back to bite you. Yet here I am. Here I am. What an idiot I am. I think at this point I'm just trying to finish a bunch of models. What will happen if I need to make more Death Company? I guess I'll just have to deal with it. I do want to take a photo of all my Death Company together, and if it will be more than 30. So when they're done, it'll be glorious. It'll just be like I've just done like 50 Death Company. I don't know why I've got 50 of them, other than I love Death Company, and I'm waiting for the day that they get Fight on Death as a special rule, and I'm waiting for it for a long, long time. Nightfall says, I'm here with a friend who's new to Warhammer. Would you like to give him some advice on the hobby? I mean, that's a pretty open-ended question. Like where to start? What army to pick? I mean, yeah. I mean, like saying someone is new is a bit too broad for me to just like. Where am I starting? Have I used a Storm Speeder? I've used it in a few games. I thought it was okay. I don't know if I love the Storm Speeder. I mean, I don't hate it either, but like the more I played it, the more I felt like, because it has negatives, right? Like, and I guess its negatives are no invulnerable save, and I guess like only toughness 6, 10 wounds on 145 points. So like the more I played it, the more I kind of kept thinking to myself like, is this the most optimal thing? Should I just be running like Contemptor Dreadnoughts again? Because Contemptor Dreadnoughts are really nice that they don't bracket, you know, because they're on 9 wounds, so they're just below that threshold that causes them to bracket. And there's something to be said about like when a Dreadnought goes down to 1 wound and it's still operating at full bracket. Or full profile, I guess. That's pretty darn useful, right? It's one of the reasons Iron Hands are probably so strong. So the Storm Speeder, yeah, I mean, I did it a few games on the channel. I thought it was fine. I was glad that I bought it. I think I will use it again. But I guess there's definitely an argument there for, like, would it not just be better to have a couple of land speeders? Because a couple of land speeders, obviously the land speeders don't profile. It means that the damage wouldn't spill over either because it's two separate targets. It means they can take up two separate spaces on the board. If you're not going to run a tech marine to like make it +1 to hit, then again maybe the land speeders are better. Land speeders are easier to put in strategic reserve. So like, yeah, I didn't hate the storm speeder, but I was struggling. The more I played with it, the more I was like, it's okay, but like it's not blowing me away, right? I guess that would be fair to say. So yeah, based on that, and I mean maybe you've had better experiences with it, but based on that, I haven't used it in a few weeks. I'll get around to finishing painting it and I'll probably use it again. I did see that James Fraser came 4-1 in a tournament, but he used 2 storm speeders, and maybe the storm speeders are a bit like dreadnoughts in that like if you just have one of them then it never feels that effective, but if you have 2 of them it sort of feels like a lot better, because like one contemptor on its own never seems to do much, but if you put 2 contemptors in your list, then it's like, alright, this is a pretty serious list. Like these contemptors can put out some serious firepower and like they kind of need dealt with. So maybe the speeders work better as like 2s or something. Would that be the way to say it? So yeah, I'll get back to playing the storm speeder. I might buy a second one. Burgosaurus said his Bladeguard vets had a solid showing last night against Greater Demons. Well, I mean, Bladeguard vets get a lot of attacks. I mean, a squad of Bladeguard veterans, comparatively to Sanguinary Guard with swords, get more attacks, right? Like that, the number of attacks they got was never really the question. I guess the question is like, can you deliver them across the board, and can they survive to get where they need to be, because they just have a 6-inch move, and you know, if they're the only unit that's not jumping from cover to cover, then they're getting targeted and killed, right? Where to start? I guess like if you're starting 40k for the first time, then I guess like you have to. I mean, where to start is probably to get like a box for a faction, right? Like start with a single box, and obviously start with some paints, because you're gonna need to start somewhere. I'd also say like just start with like 5 paints or something. There's no reason to run out and buy like, I did it when I started, or when I restarted the hobby, because I've been away for a year. I ran out and bought like 100 paints and then realized that I only used like half of them. So like, buy paints sparingly, don't buy a million that like it's it, like, because if you look on the back of any Warhammer box, it's going to recommend like 10 paints for you, maybe more, maybe like 15 paints. And like, you do not need that many paints to get started, 100%. I was going to say, do I have a box of Sangard behind me? Yes. Oh, the new boxes don't tell you the paints. No way. Oh, the new boxes don't even tell you what paints to buy. Oh, they just give you a link to citadelcolor.com/guides. Okay. I mean, then that's where you would start, I guess. The old boxes told you what paints to buy, and they always told you to buy like a million different colours of paint, which, honestly, once you figure out your own scheme, you don't need a million different colours of paint. Like, I've used like maybe 7 paints on this model at this point, right? And I mean, he could be battle ready, he could be good to go. You don't need to put a million paints on each model. Hello Dasher, welcome to the stream, good evening. Chino says Mummy Warhammer, what do you mean? Evening James, we were just talking about you and your storm speeder shenanigans. People wanted to know what people felt of the storm speeders. Are they worth it? Are they good? I said that you'd run 2 to a tournament recently and done quite well with them. Or at least that's what you told me. Maybe you didn't do quite well with them. You're lying to me. Thanks for removing the bots as always. You think they're very good against knights? Because of their maneuverability and movement? Or because of their armaments? Toasty coming in with a $2 super chat. Toasty, thank you so much. I don't think it announces super chats under $5. I was waiting for a second there because I thought it was gonna say something. No, I think it only announces super chats only for $5 in case people are spamming like low level donations. We did just hit 900 subscribers on our podcast today, which is very cool. We're trying desperately to get to 1,000. I don't think it'll take us too much longer. So, no, it's all right. Here it comes. No, it just makes the noise. The text-to-speak guy will only speak when you do $5. But no, thank you so much, Toasty. I appreciate it. I'm glad that you're enjoying the podcast. We have been working pretty hard trying to build it up. You know that, and it'll feel vindicating, or vindicating? Is that the right word? It'll feel very rewarding, I think, when we hit the 1,000 subscribers, because 1,000 subscribers, I guess, is where like YouTube actually like sort of care about your channel a little bit, and we've put a lot of effort in over this last like I think our podcast's been going for like just over a year now. Movement, melt 3 damage missiles, armature seemingly have a lot of AP 0, and they're pretty survivable. Then maybe I need to buy a second storm speeder. They are pretty fun. They are a pretty fun model to make, to be honest. I enjoyed making that storm speeder, and I've been enjoying painting it. But I've got far too many infantry half painted, so that's where I'm focusing myself for the next little while. I want to finish all the infantry that I have. Mainly all the Death Company. Thank you so much for subscribing, Cupcake. I appreciate that. Mainly I want to finish all the Death Company and Sanguinary Guard that I have like this, that are like half painted, half done, in sort of like a semi-complete state, because I have a lot of them, and I just want to get them all done and dusted, because then I'll feel like I can finally put them to bed and not have to make any more Sanguinary Guard or any more Death Company. Cup of Cappuccino just got a community channel tab recently. Well, congrats on reaching 500 subscribers, dude. That's no mean... I was going to say that's no mean feat. No, that's no easy feat to get 500 subscribers. Well done to you. What's your channel about? I think Blood Angels will get a new Dreadnought. There's been a lot of talk about Melee Redemptor Dreadnought in the rumour mill, but like I said, the rumour mill has been... it's been rumouring for a while. We haven't actually seen anything new. Yeah, painting some of these details with these new glasses is like night and day before, because I was having to squint so much to try and see. Now I can actually see really clearly again, which is so nice. His channel is all about memes. Okay, I mean that's a good reason to make a channel. Memes are great, right? Everybody likes memes. If you got 500 subscribers just doing memes, that's serious business. I don't know what, I mean, I was gonna say I don't know why people would subscribe to a meme channel. I guess they subscribe because it makes them laugh and it's funny. But I can't imagine the format of your videos, right? Like you ask them to subscribe, or they just subscribe because they just love the memes. Good evening, Inks. Fake leak today, says Inks. There you go. All the hope of today's leak has been dubbed fake by Inks. That's why I haven't done any videos on leaks for a few weeks, because I did a video like a month ago on the leaks, and like right the day so you know, I spent time and effort making the video, and then like the very next day it was like, oh, that was just a dumpster fire. And then I made a second one, and then it was also just a dumpster fire. So I was like, maybe I should just stay away from leaks till we actually have the information. I mean, I get that they get views, and views do equal money, right? Like, I do get paid if people watch the leaked video, but like, if there's no value in the content, like, then and it's just bullshit, then like, I'm not sure that's what I really want to be promoting. Like, just, you know, bogus, leaky content that actually has no value, right? Like, that's not really what I'm trying to do. Space Marine stuff sells, so they can't go super wrong with something new. I mean, the Space Marine stuff does always sell, even if they do go super wrong. Look at those Fire Strike turrets. I've never seen those Fire Strike turrets get played in any competitive game. I've actually never seen ATVs played competitively either. I'm sure somebody plays competitive ATVs, but I've never seen it. Toasty Devil says leaks and rumors are yawn for him. He always just prefers to see the real stuff. Yeah, and I mean, I think that's where, I mean, like, if there's a big, like, genuine looking Blood Angels leak, then like I'm interested. But if it's like some guy on Reddit posting something with like no screenshots and nothing but the Reddit post that he's saying and just trying to get people excited, then I'm not sure if well, I haven't covered it. I haven't covered anything like that in a while, because the last time I covered stuff like that, it just ended up being a dumpster fire, like I said. Need to make some of the newer stuff better. Bank Power has said that he wants a Space Marine mummy. He's the second person to say mummy Warhammer in the stream tonight, which makes me think I'm missing something. I don't know what I'm missing. Reziel has a community tab at less than 100 subs. Oh really? You get it that early now? It used to have 1,000 subs to get a community tab. That's what I had to do for this channel. Then I believe they made it 500. Maybe they've lowered it. Maybe it's 100 now. Who knows? These old metal jetpacks are like terrible for paint, like, and I think this whole model here is actually metal, so like all the really rough edges, they're really terrible for holding paint. So like you paint the rough edges and then the paint just like, you touch it and it just comes off on your fingers. This is one of the reasons that I guess they probably don't make metal models anymore, but I have a bunch of these old metal ones and I just want to finish them all off. ATVs were only good when they could be healed. That's very true. They were a lot better when they could... Well, I mean, they can still be healed. You mean revived, right? I think they can still be healed, and I think they can still get a feel no pain. They just can't be revived. I guess when they could be revived, they were probably broken. Because for a while there, when attack bikes could be revived, that was generally pretty strong. But people cottoned on to how deal with attack bikes pretty quickly as well. You know, like it was only... I'd say that attack bikes were only strong for like a couple of months, and then everyone realised like, oh, if they've got the selfless healer in attack bikes, you just make sure you kill the selfless healer. Gav was telling me, so I'm going to a GT on Saturday, and if you guys remember Gav, he was on the channel a few weeks ago when he played the Knights list that kind of destroyed me. I didn't get like any points in primary that game, like no points, like maybe 4 points, and I just got dominated on primaries. Gav was saying that the first list he's playing at the GT is 40 Deathwing Terminators, and he was saying that they also have the selfless healer. So I was like, oh my god. 40 Deathwing Terminators, or maybe they're not all. I guess like some of them must be the Deathwing Knights, because you couldn't do 4 squads of 10. So it must be like, it must be like 3 squads of 10 Deathwing Terminators and then like a squad of Deathwing Knights. It's using Centurion's dead. I wouldn't say it's dead. We still see the odd Blood Angels list place reasonably well at tournaments with Centurions. I think probably the reason we don't see it that much is, like, I don't think that many Blood Angels players have Centurions, because it wasn't a thing. Like, you couldn't actually legitimately put Centurions in your army list before 9th edition, so unless you just bought them because you wanted them, like knowing you could never play them competitively, that wasn't a thing. Right? Yeah, I have Centurions, but I only have 3 of them. But yeah, I really don't think that many people for Blood Angels have big squads of Centurions. Some people have been switched on to them because of they've had some really good tournament results. But I still think the majority of Blood Angels players probably do not own Centurions, right? It's probably a low probability. Or it's a low... probability is the wrong word there. It's a low... I don't know what the right word is. It's probably a low... It's just a low number. Look at this brush is getting splayed to all hell. It's on its last legs. I need some new brushes. I think I've probably been... I can't remember the last time I changed this brush, so I could have literally been using it this whole entire year, maybe. But and I haven't bought new brushes in ages yet, so this brush is like... This brush must be getting like 6-9 months old now. Inks has never lost a game when he's used the Centurions. Well, I've lost games against Sisters of Battle with the Centurions that I had Inks because Retributors are a fucking nightmare is why. Retributors in those war suits with the multi-meltas on them, like it's just so much melta fire. Or maybe not melta fire, just 24-inch melta fire in general, I guess. I lost a few games against Sisters like that. Should I buy a brush pack on Warhammer Official or no? Because I'm planning the Essential pack. I don't think you want to buy your brushes from Warhammer Official. I haven't... The synthetic ones have been okay for me, actually. For like base coats and stuff, but for like fine detail, I think you can get better fine detail brushes elsewhere. I obviously use... I like the Element Games ones, and I find that they last a long time. Like I said, I've probably been using this brush, Element Games character brush, for like a year. But I did buy one of these as well, which is generally a very good brush, which is the Artist Opus ones. These ones are a bit more expensive. But if the Element Game one lasts a long time, these Artist Opus ones last even longer. So... I like to use crappy brushes for like see this guy? I'd say like at this point I'm still doing mainly base coats on him. Like I'm putting the second colours on and stuff. Or I'm putting second coats of colours on would be a better accurateness. Do you have a Discord server? Yeah, it's in the video description, dude. You're more than welcome. I think we've got like... I know that there's like 2,000 plus members on the Facebook page now, or in the Facebook group. I have a Facebook page that has like not very many likes for some reason. A lot of people are in the group, but not many people like the actual Facebook page. But I think last time I checked on the Discord, we were like at 1,000 members, or maybe just over them, over 1,000 now. The Discord's been very popular, so yeah, there should be a link in the video description. If you're having problems with it, let me know and I can generate a new link. But no, I think if you're in the UK, I would recommend you try out the Element Game brushes, because I don't take good care of my brushes at all. I mean, I do use brush soap and I do wash them, but I know that when you're painting, you're not supposed to like use the bristles in a direction away from you. You're supposed to like bring them towards you in a controlled manner, and I don't do any of that. I just paint. I just see somewhere that needs color and I just put the brush there. I don't care what bristles they are. I don't necessarily care how much care I'm taking over the bristles either. If I can pay £10 for a brush that'll last a year, so like £1 a month, I feel like that's fine and I don't need to take too much care of it. To me, that's fine. Sisters feel like that army that's really good and no one talks about. I mean, I talk about Sisters. I think they're crazy good. Their secondaries are almost too good at the moment. That's going to be my first game in this week's GT, and honestly, I'm not looking forward to it because Sisters counter Blood Angels pretty hard. I mean, if they have a list that has like multiple Repentia and multiple Zephyrim and Morganval and Retributors, then everything about that just counters Blood Angels. I suppose in a way they counter Marines as well. And all my 2 or more damage weapons are for the most part wasted, because there's only going to be about 2 models in his army that have more than 1 wound. So it makes like my army is going to be very inefficient into Sisters of Battle. And yeah, I think Sisters are a good army. I really do. I mean, you kind of have to go Bloody Rose with them. But, I mean, if you're willing to go Bloody Rose, then I think they're really good. I was actually going to ask, does anyone know how many attacks Repentia get in Bloody Rose? Is it on the charge? Is it 3 attacks re-rolling everything? And then the Superior or the Litany can give them +1? I just need to know how much damage to expect from like, I think the guy's got like multiple squads of Repentia that I'll be playing against. And I don't remember how many. I know Repentia have base 2 attacks, and I think Bloody Rose gives them +1 when they charge. Or maybe Bloody Rose just gives them +1 in general. But is it 3 that they're getting? Sisters army I play the most, and I feel like you need to be on your total A game to win. Yes, I haven't beaten that sort of Sisters list for a while, to be honest, James. And the time that I beat it recently, I had a super heavy Astraeus tank in my army, which I think is not really an accurate depiction of what my army looks like. It's like it's a giant crutch. It's a 600 point crutch, and I leaned on it so heavily in that one game that I beat the Sisters. I leaned on it so heavily that I ended up taking that to the last tournament I was at. Because I've been frustrated with where some of Blood Angel stuff lands. Any streaming or a way to watch you this weekend? Asks Dasher. Not that I'm aware of. I might try and take some photos, and I'll try and make a video on the battles and what I learned. I always try and do that after tournaments to share knowledge and share tactics. So I'll share whatever I can, but the chance of them being a live stream is like slim to none, I think. Maybe I can ask an organizer for a future event, but this one probably not. Too short notice. And I actually think the place that we're playing doesn't have great internet, because I think Andrew wanted to stream a tournament from it before, and it turns out like their internet is like tragically bad, so. Always surprises me in this day and age that places can have like 1 meg, 2 meg internet. It's like, my new house I can have 900 meg internet. I mean, I didn't pay for 900 meg internet because I don't really see any point in having more than like 150, which was like the lowest. But yeah, like businesses that's still sitting on like 1 megabyte internet and stuff is crazy to me. Or like a place where you would go and play games and that sort of stuff. Repentia is one of the dumbest units in the game. I mean, they're very, 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 very good against Marines, aren't they? The fact that Repentia get to fight on death and Death Company don't. I tell you what, Rezio, I think Refusal to Die is a worthless stratagem. I've talked about it so many times. Very, very few times do I ever get any value out of it. Remove Refusal to Die and give us 2 CP Death Company units can fight on death. And just call it the same, just call it Refusal to Die. That's what we want. Or that's what I want. I'd bite your hand off for that. Or just call the stratagem Horus. Literally that would work as well, right? Or I see Horus. Apparently synthetic brushes should be used for constructs and metallic paints. I've been using them for base coats, and like I said, I think they're not bad. If you just want to put base coats on models and you want to save money, you don't want to use decent brushes for base coats, then synthetic brushes work fine for that for me, honestly. I forget now who it was, but somebody sent me a bunch of synthetic brushes. This was like before I moved house. This was like 16 months ago, so this was like... It wasn't you, Toasty Devil, was it? For some reason I'm thinking it was Toasty Devil. I probably really insulted the person that sent them to me. But someone sent me like this bag with all these GW synthetic brushes in them. And obviously, like, I don't really have that much use for like this size brush. But in general, these cheaper synthetic brushes, do you know what? When you've never used it before, these bristles are like rock hard. That's crazy how little movement they have on them, but they soften up. It wasn't you, Toasty? Okay, it must have been somebody with a similar name. Actually, I don't think I can get that back in there. Oh yeah, I can. Okay. Yeah, so somebody sent me all these VW synthetic brushes, and I used a bunch of them. And like I said, I think they're fine. I also bought like a set of like super cheap, like 15 brushes for like $3.99, $5.99. Royal, can you even read that? Royal Langnickel brushes. I mean, these cost nothing as well. And again, for base coats on tanks and stuff, if you don't want to use good brushes, pick up some cheap synthetic ones and just use them for that sort of stuff. Creations of Bile is worse. I've heard horrible things about Creations of Bile. I have not played them myself yet, but I keep getting warned about them and getting told that I basically know nothing, and that whenever I end up playing against Creations of Bile, I'm going to get smoked. That's all I know about them. I'm going to get smoked. That's the size of brush used for fine detail. Nice, I'd love to see some of your fine detail workings. Death Company feel no pain should be 5 up, says Highland Phoenix, and their stratagem should be fight on death. Yeah, I would love their stratagem to be fight on death. I think it would make so much more sense as well, from a lower point of view. Good evening, Highland Phoenix, by the way. I didn't see you sneak in there. How are you? Good evening, Steve West. Just picked up a Repulsor Executioner for 25 bucks today. Guess what I'm working on? You're working on a termite drill, correct? Where'd you get a Repulsor Executioner for 25 bucks? Like, it's got to be second hand, right? Or like, was it new? Good deal, I guess. Zen brushes from Amazon are very good, and they're also cheap. Will says they trade on your turn and their turn. They're so dumb. Yeah, I mean, I don't like fight on death as a mechanic in general. I also really don't like what Colin was running last night in his big giant blob of Death Guard is really dumb as well, because like he said he didn't tailor that list against me, but like he's got like a, what is it, a 9-inch bubble of like no rerolls plus a 6-inch bubble of you don't count as charging, and another ability which is you also fight last. So it's like, so Blood Angels, you don't get Shock Assault, you don't get Savage Echoes, you don't get the Red Thirst. So basically you get none of your bonuses, and then you also fight last into a squad of 10-man Light Lord Terminators. Yeah, I mean, that's just like, I get sometimes that there can be counters to things, but like that was just kind of impossible for me to deal with. I mean, the best thing I could have done possibly in that game last night was just run away from that and just focus on all the other objectives that are on the opposite side of the map, which is fine, I guess. I mean, it's a valid tactic. But yeah, I mean, I lost the game on a slim margin last night, so I'm not worried. But that Death Guard stuff, like if they're gonna have armies that rely on being in melee, having charged, and yeah, I mean that's what we rely on, being melee and having charged of heroic intervene. If they're gonna have an army that has that, then like don't give an army every single tool to shut it down, right? What I'm hearing is Go Blood Angel Successors, says Miguel. Well, I may just have a video coming out on Successors tomorrow, Miguel. Actually, I may have had some time to do some maths, and I may have looked into it, and I may have found a better combination than the Red Thirst. You'll have to check it out tomorrow. I can tell you, if I hadn't had to lock my list in like last week for this tournament, I feel like my list would have been different. But sometimes you have to lock stuff in, you know, and then it's fine. God, I hate when I'm painting even little bits of gold and like I end up with a bit on the black. God damn it. My painting accuracy still needs work. Acriel's finishing his Leviathan Dread with magnets, Helverins rather than Warglavies. No, I wouldn't have taken Helverins. I would have, if I didn't have to lock my list in, I would have I'd have taken Volcons. Probably like for the same points, I would have taken Volcons, I'd have buffed up my Death Company, and I would have also taken back my Chapter Master on a bike, because I just can't get in love with Dante, and I might have run Successors as well, actually. BA Successors. Because oh no, I can't run BA Successors without dropping Mephiston. Well then maybe I have to drop Mephiston and go back to the good old Terminator Armor Librarian, or Jump Pack Librarian. I had a lot of success with that Jump Pack Librarian, actually. At the beginning of 9th edition. Like, I used him for a bunch of events, and he's pretty fun. But no, I'm not on board with Helverins. We're not. I'm much more of a melee-based player, I guess. If I can be more melee-based, I like to be melee-based. Feels like the +1 to our tactic is actually really good. Don't think about that much. It is, Benno, and that's one of the reasons that I always have shied away from changing the chapter tactic. See you later, Night. Thanks for hanging out. Kevin likes Librarian Dread over Mephiston. I mean, I roll so many ones with Mephiston that maybe I should just run a Librarian Dreadnought, because does he get more attacks than Mephiston, or is it the same? I think it's the same, because I think Mephiston gets 5 attacks. Librarian Dreadnought gets 4 plus 1 from the halberd. But yeah, I mean, the reason I don't run a Librarian Dreadnought anymore is, like, I had a game where I had, like, let's say I buffed him with like quickening or something, so he had like 11 attacks, and like his weapon skill is 3, right? And I rolled like my 11 hits, and I think I made 1 hit, and then that was it for me. I was like, oh my god, I'm never running this guy again, because like it was one of the biggest whiffs I've ever had in a game of Warhammer. I'm pretty sure I did it on stream as well, like, because I haven't played any games of Warhammer off stream out with tournament games in the best part of a year, I guess. Like 90% of my Warhammer games are played on stream. He's more reliable because he's got a D3 weapon. Well, I mean, yeah, you got to hit for him to be more reliable, but yeah, I get what you're saying. He also has a D3 plus 6 halberd, but you only get 1 hit with that, which is a little bit annoying. I just looked at this guy and thought, I need this colour in there. I forgot what colour it was. Silver? You can use a little bit of silver. Have Acro's been thinking of an assault squad lately? I made a video on assault squads like 2 or 3 weeks ago, Acro. If you haven't run an assault squad, it's worth watching the video, because like I break it down, and actually assault squads are they're fine. Like, they're more competitive than I thought they were, and that's why I like to do the tactics videos every week, because I sometimes I'll look at something and on paper I'll be like, nah, and then when you actually break down the math, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, that's not a bad shot. So yeah, I mean, check out my video on assault squads. I'm pretty sure it was probably, if you search Blood Angels Commander assault squad, I'd be really surprised if you don't find that video. Usually if you search Blood Angels Commander on YouTube with just about any Blood Angels unit or keyword, at this point YouTube told me the other day that I've done 400 uploads. So like, there was more videos than I thought I'd done. I thought I'd done a lot, but 400 is probably more than I thought I'd done. But yeah, has Mike finished the Terrax yet? Says James. I think Mike has finished the Terrax. He sent me some photos the other night. I think he talked about wanting to do some varnishing on it, because he asked me like, can I varnish stuff, and I was like, dude, it's Scotland and it's winter. It's one, it's way too cold, and two, the humidity is like always 80. And usually when I find if I want to varnish GW stuff, like you want like humidity in the like 50s like if you can, the lower humidity the better for the varnish, right? So like I generally try to never varnish in like humidity less than like 60, and if I can get a day with 50s, that's like preferable. So like Scotland in winter, the humidity is like 80 every day. So yeah, I mean, like, I think Mike said he wanted to do some varnish on it, and he asked me if I was going to be able to varnish it anytime soon, and I was like, nope. Scotland's generally very cold and humid from like end of September through to like April. Here's the thing with the Death Guard. The Foul Blight spawn with revolting Stetchvats as a hard counter to melee units and armies, but it's one unit. Death Guard's quite slow, and they're very slow. Yeah, I mean, it was a bad map, I guess, Reziel, in that, like, it would have been better if it had been a map where the objectives were a little bit more spread out. I would have liked to go first last night as well, and then I also failed, like, a giant charge in turn... I'd say a giant charge. And I failed a really important charge in turn 1. I had a 6-inch reroll charge that probably swung like another 8 points towards me on the overall scoring of the game, and that was a fail as well. So yeah, you know, I was thinking about it after the game, and I was like, I failed a 6-inch rerollable charge, I failed my 8-inch rerollable charge, which I try not to do too often. Like I said last night, I hate having to rely my game on that 8-inch rerollable charge. Like, you know, I hate doing it in a friendly game. I hate it even more at a tournament where it's like, I win or lose this game on an 8-inch rerollable charge, and I guess the odds say that, like, you know, our 8-inch rerollable charge is a decent odd. Like, if you were at Vegas or something, you were gambling, you know, it's not a bad gamble. It's a 66% chance, but I'd rather win or lose the game on skill rather than win or lose it on a charge. But yeah, failing 2 critical charges like that, I'm hoping that's the dice gods saying that, like, hey, for once at the tournament, your dice won't totally suck, because the last few events I've been at, I've had, like, really bad timed luck. Like, twice I shot my double las cannon on the... What's the name of that? That's the tank again? The Astreus? Twice I shot my double las cannon. And rolled double 1 for the hit rolls when I was shooting it at like a target that was like 90% dead, and I was like, right, I just need to take like 1 or 2 wounds left off here. Double las cannon will definitely do it, so I won't shoot anything else at it, and then it's like double 1. I'm like, brilliant. And I've got the Tech Marine there, so I'm hitting on 2s, you know? And yeah, I feel like my last couple of tournament games, or my last couple of events, have been kind of rough in that sense, so maybe getting some of these shitty rolls out on the stream the Wednesday night before. Who knows? That's what I'm hoping for. Who knows? Ben's about to start on 2 assault squads, and I'm just looking for melty-guns. I was gonna say, you might want to buy a box of veterans or something like that, like Stern Guard veterans, I think, come with... Maybe they come with combi melters, actually. But yeah, eBay might be your best shot. There are a couple of websites that sell bits that are a bit cheaper than eBay, and they usually combine postage if you buy multiple bits. So maybe you could check those out. Where are you located, Ben? Like, where are you geographically? The new Guard field gun has a D3+3 las cannon option. Yeah, I saw it was, I think they've called it the heavy las cannon, right? And it's a D3+3 las cannon. Seems like everybody is getting D3+3 las cannons except Space Marines. But don't worry, Space Marine players, you're just bad at the game, and shot tactics will help you out. Sorry, I mean, that was a low blow. I'm still mad about that, if you can't tell. I just want to play, you know, my psychic power last night couldn't do a single mortal wound. I come up against Eldari and it's like, oh, by the way, instantly do 3 mortal wounds, then we have to roll off, and we're going to do, for every time I roll more than you, we're going to do another mortal wound. I'm like, oh cool, that sounds like it's balanced with my psychic powers that can do 1 mortal wound. Also, why have the squats got a thunder hammer that can do 6 mortal wounds per swing. Makes the Hammer of Baal look like a... I was going to say, like, the Hammer of Baal compared to that squat hammer, it's like a... My 3-year-old got a... Don't know if you've seen that new Buzz Lightyear movie, but I think it's just called Lightyear. And in that, Buzz has basically, like, Disney owned Buzz Lightyear now, right? So, well, Disney always owned Buzz Lightyear. Sorry, Disney owns Star Wars now. So, like, Buzz Lightyear has a lightsaber, but there's like a kids version of it you can buy for like $10, and it lights up and it goes pew, and my daughter has it, right? That's what Hammer of Baal looks like. It's like this plastic it's like this plastic blue glowing lightsaber, compared to the squat hammer that does 6 mortal wounds, D3 plus 3 every swing. Why? When's gonna be our time, Lord? When's gonna be our time? The Hammer of Baal is a foam mallet by comparison. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, my Hammer of Baal is the equivalent of my daughter's plastic lightsaber that cost me $11.99 compared to that squat hammer. And the squat hammer is like basically the sword Highlander had that just like decapitates people without trying, right? Lionheart says he's finding it hard playing Ultramarines at the moment, even with Gilliman included compared to my Blood Angels. You mean in terms of like just Ultramarines are kind of weak at the moment? Or you just like Blood Angels more than Ultramarines, Lion? Chrono says the squat hammer is absolute bullshit. Well, I'm glad I'm the only one I'm glad I'm not the only one who thinks so. I mean, that guy with the squat hammer destroyed my, like... Yeah, he just destroyed all my Sangre Guard in like a turn. I've only had one game against squats, so if I come up against them at this event, it's not going to be ideal. But at least if I do come up against them now and I see that guy, I'm going to be like, right, just let me check. This guy has the fucking Thunder Hammer that makes all other Thunder Hammers look like child's play, right? Dunline Marines are kind of nowhere at the moment. Yeah, they are. Bolters are bad in 9th edition, or Bolters haven't managed to keep up with the rest of the meta. That's probably the fairest way of putting it. How many attacks can a Blood Angels character potentially make with the Hammer of Baal? Like, the squat character has 4 attacks. So the squat character can do 24 mortal wounds, right? How many attacks can we make maximum with a Hammer of Baal? I guess you could put it on a captain who could get +2 from charging, +1 from Black Rage, so 7 maybe. DTM. The squats don't have a warlord trait that lets that guy get any more attacks or anything, or I'm sure there was a warlord trait that lets squat get more attacks. Am I wrong? It was a while since we looked at that squat book, to be honest, and I mean only looked at it like one time for the podcast episode. Like I don't have the squat book. I'm not planning on buying squats. My second army is going to be 1,000 Suns. Have you ever had to fight the Custodes Blade Champion? It's not much better, obviously. I have fought the Blade Champion, but I didn't think he did as many mortals. How's Blood Angels and Chaos Demons looking? I've only played Nurgle Demons well, and I beat them. So how we're looking into other demons, I guess maybe I'll get a game against demons this weekend and it'll be a baptism of fire for me. I'll report back on how I do at this GT. I'm not expecting great things. Yeah, one character should never do 24 mortal wounds in a combat turn. Even if you roll hot, you should never do 24 mortal wounds, just saying. Let me think. The question was... Yeah, I struggled to build my list for this tournament because I feel like... And I struggled to build my list for the last tournament I went to as well, and I think the last event I went to I struggled to build my list because I knew there was armies that like I felt like I just flat out couldn't beat. And I still feel like that way. So I'm running a list with armigers, and I'm doing... what I want to do, my strategy, what I want to do is get in their face. So get in their face with the armigers, get in their face with the Death Company and the Sandguard, get in their face with Assault Intercessors, get in their face with Mephiston. Like, I just want to be like really, really aggressive. I just couldn't do it last night because the Death Guard had the fight last, don't count as charging model in the midst of like this giant death ball, and there was no way I could kill him. So I had to wait till it like the board opened up a little bit, and even then it wasn't a good engagement for me, and I lost the game. But I think hopefully this list it'll be a fun list to run, and if nothing else, I'll make a video on it, and I'll be able to have a video about like how I did with Blood Angels and Knights at an event, because I think ever since they changed, or ever since they added Wandering Hero, I haven't seen that many people actually run like Wandering Hero based lists, right? So I guess I am, and I guess we'll see how it does. It should be fun regardless. Doesn't sound like BC tactics. Well, yeah, it doesn't, but like I said, we're in a position where like we don't have like ideal matchups, or we don't have balanced matchups. Yeah, I mean, we can... When I was looking at those lists last weekend, right, like the lists that are winning tournaments with Blood Angels have like... They're skew lists, man. Like, there's no other way of saying it. Like, you guys don't agree that it's a skew list, but if the entire list, or 90% of the list, is Death Company and Sangre Guard, then that's a skew list, right? Like, I mean, that'd be no different from fighting against... You remember last edition when Ultramarines, aggressors were crazy good for Ultramarines, because they could move and still shoot twice, like they counted as stationary. And if you put them next to Guilliman, they could re-roll all their hits, I think, and they could re-roll wound rolls of 1 or something. So you had a 6-man squad of aggressors that were getting like, let me get this straight. Each one would have 6 plus d6 shots. So you would start with 36 shots plus 6 d6, which I guess would be 18. So you'd get 54 shots, right? And then they would be able to fire twice. So every squad of 6 aggressors is getting 108 bolter shots. Or, they're not all bolters, but they're all strength 4 and they're all -1 because of you're sitting in tactical doctrine, right? So I played Colin. You guys know Colin. He builds pretty strong lists. He doesn't often build skew lists like Andrew. He usually has like a pretty varied army. Well, he just had 3 squads of 6 aggressors, and I don't even remember what was else in the list. It would have... I think he actually had heavy bolter centurions there as well, because again, they would be getting buffed by Guilliman, and they were kind of crazy to deal with as well. But like, so honestly, one of the turns like took forever, because Colin had 300... I remember when we got to the game, he told me like my list has like 500 bolter shots per turn. And I was like, say what? And he was like, yeah, 500 bolter shots per turn is what my list is. And it wasn't like 500. I want to say it was like 458 or some random number like that. But like just like a ridiculous amount of bolter fire. And like it was the same. It just feels like the same thing. It was like the whole list was based on the like these 3 units that are just producing giant amount of bolter fire. And I don't have enough Death Company with hammer or the right loadouts to run that skew list, so I don't have a choice, and I can't, you know how slow I am at painting Highland Phoenix, I can't get it ready If I wanted to get 10 more Death Company ready with hammers, that's going to take me like 3 months. I'm playing an Orc Vehicle list tomorrow. Do you recommend going in your face or playing KG? I mean, if you're playing Orc Vehicles, you really want stuff that's hitting them on Strength 8, because if you're not hitting them at Strength 8, they're ramshackle, right? So Death Company with Thunder Hammers are going to be really good, and in one of the events that I went to last year where I knew that there was going to be Orc Vehicles, like, because Andrew had built that like Orc Vehicle SKU list, then I took Terminators with Chain Fists, because Chain Fists are 3 damage into Orc Vehicles, and one squad of Terminators with Chain Fists charging Orc buggies, because they won't get a save. If you pay the 1 CP for Fury the First, like statistically you'll do like, I want to say like 25 wounds to them. So if you can chip off like a couple of wounds with their Stormbolters, and 5 Terminators with Stormbolters will typically chip off a couple of wounds, then it was almost like your one squad of Terminators was just like assuming they make their charge, they're gonna trade up like considerably into those buggies, because those buggies are like 300 points and your Terminator squad's like 180 or something. And then if you put the Teleport Homer on the Terminators, you could always lift them off and then try and do the same thing like a turn later. And yeah, that event I actually did beat 2 Orc players that were running one was running like crazy skew, so it was like all the Rucka trucks, but the other guy was running like Dragsters and he actually only had 3 Rucka trucks, which was good because they're the most scary. They were the most scary thing, I think. But he was running the Dragsters and the what's the other thing? Scrap jets. You don't see those Orcs vehicles like at all now. They were big for like 5 minutes, right? That was a lot of bolter shots. Yeah, I mean, it was stupid. But I think that's why they nerfed aggressors, honestly, because Ultramarines aggressors were too strong. Like, aggressors were not too strong for Blood Angels, they were fine, they were balanced. But in an Ultramarines list where they got all the bonuses from being in Tactical Doctrine, they were just too strong. And I guess in some ways that's the same as like you know, there's actually a Black Templars player at this event that I'm going to that's running the 3 Redemptor Black Templar list, which is kind of what cost, kind of the list that got, I'm sure it's not the same player, but it's kind of the list that got Redemptors put up in points, because like Black Templar players were just running all the Redemptors, because Redemptors are really good if you have the vow that makes them unwoundable in 1s or 2s, and what's the rest thing? The other thing that vow gives 5 up in vulnerable save. Send me some Death Company, I'll have you for in a month, says Mike. I might send you Death Company, Mike, we'll see. I have a lot of old metal Death Company. But no, I mean, I'm painting Death Company at the moment. I think I'd rather send you old Terminators, Mike. Because I have 5 Assault Terminators fully painted, and I have like 10 of the Firstborn ones half painted. But then I want to say I've got like older metal Terminators. Like I've got two squads of them, and they don't have any paint on them, or maybe they just have a base coat and they look terrible. You may get Terminators from me, Mike, we'll see. Good evening, Drysuit. Today I ordered my first Colincy Sable Burst. Wish me luck, I hope I don't destroy it after a painting session. I don't think you will. Just if you don't have any good brush soap, I guess get some brush soap, because brush soap will keep your brushes alive like a lot longer. And I'm sure there's good hobby channels on YouTube that'll tell you how to take care of your brushes and how to store them so that they don't. I'm really bad at storing my brushes as well, but I believe you should keep that little plastic thing that you get. You know, the little plastic thing that's like the protector for the brushes. You should keep that, because that means when you store them, you can store them facing down the way, and that way any water that's left inside the brush will leak like out of the brush, down the way. And then like you won't end up with like the water like basically leaking into all the hairs, I guess, or the head of the brush, whatever you would call this metal bit. I'm really bad at storing my brushes up the way, actually. It's probably one of the reasons that mine are so fucked, but I didn't realise that until recently, that is the most efficient way of storing the brushes. Every day is a school day, right? The metal bit is called the ferrule. Well, like I said, every day is a school day. Thanks for letting me know. Like, I don't know if I'll remember that. Am I pronouncing that right? I feel like that's a word I've never heard of in my life. Sounds like ferrule. Ferrule. Ferrule? God, my English is terrible, guys. Sorry. Death Company have a lot of intricate detail on them, don't they? Hey John, we just have a dozen entries in the painting competition. Oh, right on, yeah, Brick of Bra, hope I'm saying that right as well, is starting like a monthly painting competition over on the Discord. At the moment, the rewards are going to be special roles in Discord for like your participation, but we have done painting competitions on the channel, so maybe in the future we'll try and sync up on something like there. I've had a conversation with Brick. We don't really have any final details yet, but he's starting a monthly painting thing on the channel. So if anyone is a better painter than me and wants to pit your skills against the others in the Blood Angels community, then have you got a special channel made for that, Brick? All the music I listen to is from Streambeats. This is basically how you sound it. Streambeats.com. So yeah, I think you've got a special channel. Can we try for the worst painted model? I mean, you could try. You could make a category for that. I wish I hadn't stripped the ones that I did when I was 7 years old, because if I hadn't, I would have been winning that for sure. Because I got into the hobby when I was very, very young and got... Do you know what? I've got a rhino, actually. It's over here. It's the worst painted rhino you'll ever see in your life. Check this. Look at the dust on this bad boy. Look at the detail on those guns. Oh yeah, look at... Oh dear. Oh, the tracks are nice as well. I'll be right back in 1 sec. Sweet Rhino. Yeah, how sweet. Look at this baby. Like, have you ever seen... Look how... I mean... There seems to... Yeah, I mean, like, look at the accuracy of the paint down here. Like, that's just second to none, is it? I mean, the accuracy around this bit as well, pretty hot. I don't even know how I got silver. I mean, I guess I was trying to paint the bolts. Oh yeah, look at the accuracy here. Do I win worst painted? Come on. Anyone has a good terrain guide for 1k matches, or I actually don't know about 1k matches. Looks like my painting says X. Golden Demon winner right there. Thanks, guys. I mean, I literally probably painted this before some of you guys were born, right? I mean, this thing is like... Honestly, you can't see, like... The dust on this is just insane. I mean, like, it's not even a smooth coat of red on there. And this was actually one of the better things I had painted when I was like 8. That model's old enough to drink. I mean, that model's old enough to have 2 kids and a wife. That's still better than some of the tournament entries I've seen. Yeah, I mean, I don't know about that. I mean, that seems like you've taken it too far, I think. You should have seen the Marines that I had. They were bad. I kind of want them to re-release... You know how they did that box set of the 3rd edition stuff? I kind of want them to re-release the 2nd edition stuff, like the Gretchen and the Tactical Marines, just because I would like a chance to do that box justice, because when I got it, when I was like... I think that box came out in 1992, so I would have been 9. And I think Warhammer said like 10 and up or 12 or up, so I probably got it because I was wanting something that was like slightly older than I was. So when I did that when I was 9, it was beyond bad. Like, the Marines, honestly, the Marines looked like Primaris Marines because they had so many coats of paint on them, or the paint on them was so thick. They were like one size larger than they needed to be. I don't even know how I did that, because I did that with that sort of like coat d'arms paint, like the old paint company that did the GW paint back then, that was like super thin. So even though the paint was like super thin, somehow I managed to get it on, and each coat of paint was like 2mm thick. Yeah, Guinness World Record for managing that. Kevin was barely able to put on his own clothes when he was 8. Yeah, I mean, that's a skill my daughter... I'm working on teaching my daughter that skill. That'll be nice when I don't have to dress her, that'll be sure. Helen says I tried to do the golf checker pattern. Oh, my Gretchen were tragic. I think I gave my Gretchen away. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure my Gretchen... Like, my Marines were bad, but my Gretchen and that were tragic. I was meaning, like, I didn't even redo all of them yet. I wanna get that bio strip stuff. Maybe that'll be a cool video at some point. But I don't really have a date for that right now. Yeah, you know Duncan, the guy that does that. He used to work for Games Workshop. He's got his own channel now called Duncan Rhodes. He sometimes posts up a picture of his first mini and it like looks bad. And yeah, that's what my first mini was like. It was like on Duncan's first mini level. Obviously he's a million times better than me now, but my first mini was on his level. On his first mini level, I guess. Maybe that would be a cool competition. Find and share your first mini. Unfortunately, I don't think I still have mine. Yeah, some people's parents, like, I honestly had like the first edition of Hero Quest. I recently bought the Kickstarter one, and I just bought the expansion on Kickstarter actually as well for the Frozen Horror. But regardless, I had like the original first version of Hero Quest, and it was like mint. And my dad either threw it in the bin because no one played it anymore, or gave it to a charity shop probably for like £2. And like that first version of Hero Quest that was mint is like, oh, it's just so, like, I just wish that I had it so badly. Not that I even play Hero Quest that much, but like, it was just like one of my first ever miniature games, and I loved it. And I was so sad that like it just basically got binned. I think I have an Imperial Soldier, or the one from the Orc Fantasy Starter Box I got like in 2002. I'm trying to think what an Imperial Soldier would even be from 2002. Exo says in the early 90s we covered the Marines in so many layers of thick paint that they were already Primaris sized. That's precisely what I was saying. That's what my first Marines were. They were Primaris Marines because they had so many bad coats of paint on them. Which is kind of funny now, I guess, to look back. You live and you learn. Hopefully I'll do a better job at teaching my kids than I think, you know, my parents never really took an interest in Warhammer with me, I guess. Alright, these Death Company, they're coming. They're coming. Alright, I've probably got like 10 more minutes. Try and wrap up about past. Got a new video coming out tomorrow, which should be a pretty cool video. I hope it sparks an interesting conversation. And then I've got my GT on Saturday. Not entirely sure how that's going to go, I guess, but if nothing else, I'll try and have fun with it. I'll try and have fun with the nights. That's my aim. I mean, the aim should probably always be to have fun, but even like right now, I just think that, like, yes, you could win an event if you're running a Blood Angels list, but I don't have the models to win an event, and in that, like, I probably have enough Sandguard, but like I just don't have the Death Company loadouts. And teaser of tomorrow's video, yeah, sure. Why don't we do that? I've made the thumbnail, so I can just show you the thumbnail. Where's my thumbnail? I've got Windows 11, and every time you open a folder, it forgets that forgets the sorting option. It's really annoying. Like, I go sort by date created, and then it just defaults back. Yeah, here's my thumbnail. Hold on. Something like this. Boom. Oh, you can't see it. There you go. Make it a little bit smaller. There it is. Is it legitimately good? Guess you'll find out tomorrow. I saw an original Hero Quest with all the parts for $500, says Wolfden. I may have original Space Crusade still in its cellophane. I don't know what I'm doing with it. I'm reluctant to take it out of the cellophane. Ben's about to get his paint on. I'm only now you're here, Ben. I only got 10 minutes left. I'm about to go to bed. It's Friday tomorrow though, so end of the week and everything, so that's good. I was going to say I'm going to relax this weekend. I am not. I'm going to go and play 5 really hectic games of Warhammer, but try and not get too competitive because my army isn't that competitive, so that's what I'm going to try and do. we'll see how that actually goes in practice, because when we actually get down to it, once we start rolling those dice and making the moves, then I become literally the most competitive person in the room. Source of the pick, they were some nice Death Company. They were from Bainesy. I think he was buying them on eBay. He was trying to ask the guy who was selling them if he would do commissions of other things, and I was like, oh, Bainesy, those are really unique, can I use them in a thumbnail? And he was like, yeah, sure. If you guys ever have cool Blood Angels art that you would like to be featured in a thumbnail, because one, I have to make thumbnails every week and I'm not an artist. Thoughts about Centurions with dual meltas? I mean, I don't think Centurions need dual meltas, dude, because they have 3 damage fists that do a ton of damage. Good luck at your GT this weekend with 1000 Suns S3 Nix. I don't think Centurions need meltas because they cost points and their fists generally wreck anyway, so I prefer the flamers on Centurions, but maybe it's personal preference. What was I saying? Oh yeah, if you ever have cool Blood Angels art that you want used in a thumbnail, then, I mean, you can send it to me. If you're happy for it to be used in a thumbnail, I'm happy to take the art off your hands and use it, because I always need thumbnails and I'm not an artist. And if your models look awesome, then it will get more clicks and it will help me out too. So those Death Company definitely felt quite unique, and I thought, like, yeah, I'd love to use them in a thumbnail. Just realised the channel now has 11.1 subs. We're actually very close to 11.2. I think I'm like 10 away from 11.2. So probably be 11.2 this weekend. There's more Blood Angels players than I thought there would be. I didn't think I would get to 11,000 subs. I actually had a target of I think my target was by this I think it was last Christmas I wanted to have 1,000 subs, and like last Christmas I had like 5,000. Have I ever given anyone a slap over a game of toys? No, but I mean, I called Colin a son of a bitch the other night, right? Over his dice rolling, I think. Physical violence is maybe just one step too far, Jimmy. I think I kind of wish that I can deploy those armigers on the board, Highland Phoenix, and for 1 CP I can put 2 of them into strategic reserve as long as they're within 6 inches of a board edge. And I was thinking after the game, like, because he had that giant death ball and he was on one side of the board, I kind of wish that in hindsight I'd just thrown those armigers into reserve in turn 1, because then he would have never known where they're going to come back in, and any gaps that he leaves I can sort of exploit. So one of the things that I'm definitely going to try and remember to do at this event is, like, I should have, like, in last night's game, I should have sort of thought to myself, like, my armigers against the Plague Burst Crawlers, like, I can't win that firefight, right? Like, the Plague Burst Crawlers have more weapons, they also have more toughness, they also have -1 damage. So I should have probably thought, like, I can't win this firefight. So in turn 1, rather than like moving them out and then ending up with like both the knights getting profiled, I should have just paid the 1 CP, because I had plenty CP at the end of the game there. And put 2 of the armigers back into Deep Strike. And now he has to worry about screening all over his side of the board, because like those armigers coming in will kill things in the backfield. And I mean, they're never going to kill like a Plague Burst Crawler with just the double Melta. But what it could have meant was, like, I could have brought them in near a Plague Burst Crawler, shot it with all the guns, and then charged it and finished it off. So I think that's something that I need to remember to use with the knights. I can't believe how cheap the crawlers are now. I mean, the mortars took a pretty big hit. because the mortars used to be absolutely deadly. So the indirect fire nerf or change really did hurt the mortar part of the Plague Burst crawlers a lot. But I mean, they still got essentially D3 plus 3 las cannons, and they're just called entropy cannons, right? But they are just las cannons. I think they're actually better. I think they have one more point of AP. Maybe they have one less strength, but one more point of AP. But the one less strength doesn't really matter because they're death guards, so you're typically probably have something in contagion range, which is making your toughness one less. So, yeah, entropy cannons are good, I guess, is the bottom line, right? So this guy is another Metal Death Company model. And I can tell, well, one of the reasons I know he's metal is because the amount of times I've painted this jump pack, and this paint just does not want to stay on the edge of the metal here. I don't know how well you can see that on camera, but yeah, it's really hard to see on the camera, but on mine I can see like a very fine white line right on the edge there where the paint just will not stay, because he's a metal model, and I guess the rough paint edge just doesn't, the rough edge of the metal just doesn't want to hold any paint. Gravitos says, "Hi Commander, I'd have a word with one of your links. JW Gaming. Ordered a thing and haven't heard a thing." That's strange. I've ordered from, well, I mean, I've had mats from JW Gaming before. How long ago did you, what, you had to PayPal reverse it or something? Wow. How long did you wait, or how? I mean, if he's not filling orders, then I guess I'll remove him from my video descriptions. But I mean, the mats we use on the channel are all from all my mats are from his website. I guess let me reach out to him, find out what happened. But yeah, I mean, if he's not meeting orders, or if there's a problem, I will definitely remove the link. I appreciate you telling me about it, because I had no idea. You rang the number and some random dude picked up. Okay, that seems very weird. Alright, maybe I'll just remove it and I'll reach out to him. Alright, I'm out of here in the next minute or two, guys. I hope you had a great evening. Thank you for watching. If you did enjoy tonight's stream, then please always do hit like. I do appreciate you guys liking any of the streams that I do. It does help me out. New tactics videos coming out tomorrow, as mentioned previously. That'll be probably around like 1 PM UK time, and then I might be here on Saturday night to stream, but if I am streaming on Saturday night, I might not be painting. I might just come on and chat for like an hour or something, because I'll probably be tired from having played 3 games of Warhammer. 3 games of Warhammer in a day actually tires the shit out of me. But maybe it's just because I'm trying so hard to win. Like I said, I am very, very... Although I'm saying I don't think my list's that competitive, and I'm not gonna... I don't expect to do well at the tournament. I'm probably gonna try my damnedest in every game to get maximum points. You know me. We fight to last man, or we fight to the point where I realise I can't get enough points. Born Heroes and Warlords of Death, calling it, although it would be good to look at other successor combos. That is one of the combos that's in tomorrow's video, yes, for sure. but that might not be the best combo, Highlight Phoenix. It wasn't the best combo in my opinion. So yeah, you got to check out tomorrow's video and tell me what you think. Alright guys. Any other steps on the sword blade? Yes. I was going to say, I don't think I've done a tutorial on how I do swords. I usually use a few paints on the sword blades. I think I start with something like the Fang. A couple of coats of that, right? This guy's probably only got one coat of it. Then I probably do something like... the last step I'll do is Gullum and Glaze after I'm finished. Or Gullum and Glaze. It's Gullum and Blue, but I call it Gullum and Glaze as a glaze paint. I like to use sometimes something like Edge Blue Horror to edge all the sharp contours, basically give it an edge highlight. And then sometimes I'll use Fenrisian Grey to try and do some lightning coming off this little ball here, and sort of like freehand some lightning down the blade. The lightning that you freehand down the blade doesn't have to look that good if you put the Gullum and Glaze on afterwards, because the glaze will make it look good. Would I ever consider doing early release videos for Patreon/members? If I didn't have a full-time job, Mike, sure. With a full-time job, I find it hard enough to be organised. Or maybe when the kids are a bit older. But yeah, at the moment, sometimes my videos on Fridays get finished after I come off screen right now at 11:59 on a Thursday night. So it really depends on... I got a full-time job, I got 2 kids that need taken care of. Early access sounds great, but like in reality I don't know where I'd find the time to do it. Someone was asking me, that was it, Brick of Bra was like, do you have time to judge this painting competition? And I was like, right, so on Monday nights I make YouTube videos, on Tuesday nights I make YouTube videos, on Wednesday night I stream, on Thursday night I stream or film the podcast, Friday night I take the night off, Saturday night I stream, and then Sunday night I stream. So I literally work 6 nights out of 7 already on Bloody Angels Commander. So I enjoy it though. So only 1 pot of water? Yeah, sorry. Is that bad? I'm very ghetto when it comes to painting. Enjoy the rest of your evening, guys. Thank you for watching. I'll be live tomorrow afternoon with my new video, and then I might see some of you guys on Saturday night. We'll see. Alright. Peace.